Man, everything good? I think everything's set. I think I have a delay though. Just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Hello. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure my mic's working. I believe so. Sorry, I have a little cold. But I did just want to go over some stuff and just give my opinion on some stuff and some info that people may not know. Not even that they don't know, that they don't take into consideration about the whole Summer Wells case. So I'm hoping my mic is working and you guys can hear me. So, okay. So, let's see where to start. Okay. With the Summer Wells case, I think everybody jumped in head first. Not like just YouTubers, subscribers, everything. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm far from a YouTuber. But I just want to give my view on this. Because at first I was really confused and didn't know what side to take with all the information. There was so much information, so much contradicting information from one channel to the next channel to the next channel. So I decided to go in completely neutral, no opinion on either side. And just because, also, I did that because nobody is perfect. I'm not saying anybody's innocent, anybody's guilty, nothing like that. I wasn't there. You weren't there. Nobody's there. Nobody knows what happened except for the people that were there. And it's not my place to make up stories or to hear from one person. And it goes down the line and it goes from somebody's opinion to cold hard facts to just changing completely. So I'm trying to figure out how to say this without looking so bad either way. Okay, when I was younger, I was far from a perfect parent. Me and my husband both. We made mistakes. We've never claimed to be perfect parents. There was addiction. Anytime you're in addiction, there's neglect. I don't care who you are. So the range of neglect, I guess that's a big difference or whatever. But my daughter got out one day, and I was working 2 jobs, and I got up with her. I fed her. I live at the time I was living with my mother, and we lived in the woods, and not as secluded as the Wells, but I mean, it's woods and our house set back, single family house, and somebody could kidnap you and you'll never be seen again, especially if you're a child. There's no sidewalks. Well, I was working a double. I was busting my butt. And I got up with my daughter. This was many, many moons ago. Fed her, dressed her. We laid down for a nap. And she got out the house. Took my Rottweiler with her. Well, the police brought her home. Yes, it could have went really bad. And yes, I was at fault. As my daughter, I should know where she's at all times. But it was an honest mistake. We were up. We ate, we passed out, she snuck out. I mean, it could have ended really bad. Somebody could have snatched her up. She could have got hit by a car. I mean, anything. She could have fell in the lake. I mean, that was a bad a bad reaction on my part. Yes, it could have ended very, very bad. It could have ended as same as Candace's. By the grace of God, it didn't. I mean, the police treated me like crap, and I guess they had the right to. That's a human life that I'm responsible for. Social services had to come. They checked out my parents' house, my house. My daughter was in private school. They went to her school. I mean, there was no neglect. She was fed. She was healthy. She had top of the line everything. I mean, we live in a $500,000 house, but I had to go through. It was embarrassing, but that was the consequences. They wanted to give me. I had to go to court. By the grace of God, the police didn't. The police officer didn't show up to court, but they were trying to give me 30 days in jail for over honest mistake. And at this time, I don't even think I was in addiction at this time. I just think I was really tired. I was a single mom at the time, busting my butt to put my daughter through private school, working two jobs just to take care of us, and it was an honest mistake. But like I said, it could have ended really bad. But later on in my life, I did get into addiction, and I was not a great parent. And again, by the grace of God, turned life around, got a great job, support my kids, roof over their head, cars. They have too much stuff. They're ridiculously spoiled and ungrateful. Um, but that's because I tried to make up for the times that I didn't have anything. Trying to come, to make up for it, and by spooling them, giving them whatever they want because I had money and I could do that. But all I did was create monsters, made two ungrateful, unappreciative children that I'm dealing with. One of them right now, and it's absolutely horrible. He's just turned 15 yesterday. So, but a lot of people, that's the world, a lot of people get mad at me because I try to help them. I try to see everything from their perspective. I've never said, oh, they're innocent, oh, they're guilty. Nothing like that. I've never said they were great parents. I never said they were wonderful people. All I said is you have to look at this case with facts over feelings. Just because somebody says something does not mean that it's true. Might have to dig yourself and find out what's going on, or fact check or whatever. I don't. When I do talk to them, I don't even really get into that the situation of what happened, or anything like that, because I'm sure, you know, Dan and Candace went about this really green, I'm say. And by that I mean uneducatedly, like unsuspectingly. They came out and just said everything that came out of their mouth. People that they thought, they reached out for help and was stabbed in the back. I mean, a lot of stuff went on in this case. I mean, some of the stuff they did cause, and some of the stuff random people caused. and sometimes they seem to make it worse and worse. But there's so many there's so many different scenarios that people have out of what could have happened to this little girl. And like I said, I don't know what happened to this little girl. You don't know what happened to this little girl. We don't know if she's deceased, if she's not deceased, if she's in another state, if she's in a circus. We don't know. We don't know nothing. We don't know. We can assume. We can make hypotheses. We can, but we don't know. And yeah, we start digging into the parents and the parents' past and everything like that, how they live and this and this. That seems to become the most important part of this whole thing. Like people put, new update on Summerwell. Half the time, don't even speak about Summer. It's Dawn did this, Candace did this and this and this and that and this and that. And yeah, that does help. It does, but there's steps that need to be taken, I guess, to help with this. And the whole thing has become a big shit show. Like, the main objective is to find this little girl. And I think if more people would do stuff to try to find this little girl, everything else will fall in place. Facts, guilty, not guilty, whatever, fall in place. People want to yell at the family like, oh, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Guys, you just don't know what they're doing. I've heard people say, oh, they're not doing nothing. They don't love their kids. You don't know. How they're feeling. Everybody deals with stuff their own way. Not that one way's right or one way's wrong, or one way's better and one way ain't, or one way's more acceptable. And it's really not our business. I mean, it is our business, but it's not our business. Like, we are not law enforcement. We are not the judge, the jury, the executioner. Yes, we want to find this little girl. I want to find this little girl. That's more important than anything. This is a child, a baby. Okay? The crazy thing is, I live in Baltimore, and it's a crowded place. You can ask anybody here, anybody around here, hey, Summer Wells, or anything about Summer Wells' case, and they have no clue. Not even a hint of who Summer is, what this case is about, who Candace is, who Dawn is. They couldn't pick Summer out of a lineup. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. You know why? She's a baby. Every state in the United States should have that little girl's face plastered somewhere. We don't know where she is. She could be in the Gulf of Mexico. She can be in Maine. She can be in upstate New York. We don't know. She could be alive. She could be dressed up like a little boy. We don't know. And talking about her family and making false accusations and already marking her as deceased or in a sex ring or stuff like that. That's not helping. It's not helping at all. If you want to help, you know what you do? Go get flyers, plaster them around your city, your town, your state. Because you don't know. She might be in the grocery store with you. She might be somebody you know's friends, niece that they're saying and watching. You don't know. You have no clue. How many people put out flyers, or put a missing person thing in their local newspaper, or anything, milk carton, anything. I know billboards are expensive. That's another thing, especially in her state, in her city, and even surrounding states. That should be plastered, and that should be on the government. That should be government responsibility. That's their baby. You know, she's a resident of Tennessee. Tennessee should have it plastered everywhere. Everybody should know what Summer Wells looks like. You know, that her image should be seared in people's brains. This is a baby. I don't care who her parents are. I don't care what color she is, what religion she is, what race she is. She is a child. There's no reason children should be going missing like this. I don't care on the fault of the parents, the fault not the parents. There's no reason. There's so much technology and I mean, it's crazy. We see Bigfoot on the internet 50,000 times, but we can't find a little girl. You know, uh, it's it's insane. And law enforcement needs a fire lit under their rear end because I mean I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know they're not keeping informed with the parents. They're not advising them what they should do. You know, and their excuses, you know, lack of employers. You know, then you go and get more. You ask for help. You borrow law enforcement, FBI from local states, local counties. You know, I mean, it's a baby. This is a baby, and I don't care if you don't like the way how Don and Candace reacted, or you don't think that they're motherly or parental figures, or they're not acting worried about it. So why should you? You just put on this persona as justice for Summer Wells. Find Summer Wells. Help find her. If you're that worried about it, help. You know, what's it take to keep a couple flyers in your car when you go to the grocery store? Put one on a window or something like that. It's not your responsibility, and you don't have to. But if you're worried about it and you're so concerned, then do your part. You know, don't worry about her parents ain't doing it. You don't know what her parents are doing. You know, people would say, oh, they're not complying with this, and this. You don't know what they've done. You don't know what they've fixed. You don't know what they've bought. You don't know what's going on. But we seem to get all the negative, though. You know? And maybe they don't make the greatest decisions. You know? But I know that Candace has been working her butt off to try. I mean, she's trying to comply. She has no income. She's doing what she can. You know, she is. And you gotta think, just because she ain't crying and blah, blah, whatever. Okay, you have a woman who child is missing, and just because it seems to you she doesn't care or she's not worried about it, doesn't mean she doesn't care and she's not worried about it. Just means she's keeping her feelings in because I've talked to her. She has been a blubbering mess, you know? So her daughter's missing, then her boys are gone, her husband goes to jail. How do you think she feels? No job, empty house, people screaming at her, accusing her of that. You know, it's got to be a pretty gray place for Candace. You know, I mean, I'm not Candace's feelings. I don't know how Candace feels. I don't know. You know, I only know what I hear. Bill Birdie tells me whatever, or how when I speak to her, what she says and how she feels. But that right there, when I speak to her, that's one on one. It's not third party. I can hear the the sadness in her that she misses her children. I can hear that she feels like she's backed into a corner and she don't know what to do. And maybe she doesn't handle it the right way, or maybe she might have a drink. I don't know. I'm not there. But guess what? That's a coping mechanism. That's because as an addict, that's how we cope. That's the only way we know how to cope. That's why people relapse. That's why the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing and expecting different results. You know, what would you do? What would you do if you were Candace Wells in the same exact predicament? Same husband, same house, same everything. What would you do? You don't know what you would do. You know why? Because you are not in her shoes. You're not. I don't want to hear, I would do this, you would do. You don't know what you would do. You don't. You don't know. You only know what is being portrayed. You don't know anybody on the internet. You only know what they let you know. You only know how they portray. You can watch somebody every day for a year and think you know them. You only know what they let you know. You know? You don't know how she feels. You don't know how Don feels. You don't know how Summer's grandmother feels. And I'm gonna say something, and you might not. I mean, she might get mad at me, but I talk to Miss Candy every day. She is my best friend. Okay? That woman has been through a whole lot that a lot of people probably couldn't deal with. I talk to her about what's going on in my life. She talks to me about what's going on. She calls me to make sure I'm okay. I call her to make sure she's okay. She is my friend. And she's dealing with a lot. I think her baby girl went missing, and then her grandbaby is missing. Some days you can hear how sad she's. Like, when I call her, she's just like, "Oh, I'm just a little bummed out today." You don't know what she does. She's still involved with Rosie's case. That woman is a strong woman, and I give her props, and I don't care what you think about her. She is a good woman, and she is my friend, and I'm happy to call her my friend. She I love her to death. I talk to her every day, 2-3 times a day. I tell her stuff that I don't tell my closest relative. I was in the hospital. She made sure I was okay. She called worry about me. I talked to her today about stuff I'm going through with my son. That if probably you heard what I'm dealing with, I'd be a no good piece of shit mom, and my son's a piece of. But you know what? I know I can talk to her about it, and it is what it is. When I talk to her, this breaks my heart, so I might get a little upset. She makes these beautiful dream catchers that she worked hard on. Well, you might say, oh, her daughter's missing. She was making them for a like silent auction for missing people where Rosie went missing. Rosie's been missing for I want to say 13 years. I'm not positive. I forgot. But that woman still talks to that PI all the time. She's still involved. And now she's got another woman. She's human. She's human. And kicking her in the fucking face when you're already down, it's not cool. If you've never lost a child, you can't imagine how she feels. She's a very strong woman. And she's a very smart woman. And Candace is her baby. I don't care if Candace is 60 years old. That's her baby. I did some real shitty stuff in my life. And me and my mom, we don't get along. I indeed one day. My mom was the first one here. Because I'm her baby. So, maybe the next time you want to talk about somebody's family, maybe think about how deep it cuts. Words hurt. These people, she doesn't even want to go in public, do nothing because she can't. You got people calling this woman names, and they don't know what's going on. All she wants, she's raised her kids. She wants to be a grandma. She wants, she can't even do that. This woman is, she's a good woman. And I don't care what you say about her. I talk to her every day, and I'll still talk to her every day. I don't care. You can call me whatever you want. You can, whatever. You just don't know this woman. You just know what people want to tell you. Put her shoes on for a day and walk. Just walk around. Just walk half a mile in her shoes. Half a day in her shoes. And then you come back and tell me. She... you just don't know. Nothing I say is gonna make you whatever. I just think maybe you should try to give facts over your feelings. You know what I mean? You just call these people some really shitty things. Not everybody, but you got a family that's missing a baby, and you just call her baby killers. Child molested. You don't know what's going on. For all you know, she could be in a safe house in Maui or something. We don't know. Cut them some fucking slack. Nobody's fucking perfect. Nobody. And I don't care who you are. And just because somebody says something or you hear it 3 times doesn't make stuff true. Like I said, especially Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty would tell you she's never claimed to be a perfect person, a perfect mom. Never. but she made do with what she has, and and she's a damn good woman. And maybe if you've got to know people before spitting in their face, you know. And I know now everything's a little crazy because shit doesn't hit the fan, and it's hard to talk to people when they're excited and yelling but you gotta understand where they're they might say some stuff off the top of their mouth, some stuff they shouldn't say, done. I can't, but you gotta think too, they've already been people that they trusted, thought they were gonna help, have came there and then smiled in their face, and then you know oh, this, yeah, maybe they do a maybe they are at it. Maybe, but guess what? Maybe offer them some fucking help. How about that? Try to help them before. Let me tell you, what helped me? Complete strangers help me. People I don't, excuse me, people I'm never met before. When rehab did this, people who believed in me when they really shouldn't have. So maybe try to support somebody. You know? Of course they got their guards up, and when they do let them down to the wrong people, definitely at the wrong time. But guess what? Look what they're going through. Like I said, you don't know what kind of relationship you do, but you don't. You don't know. What goes on. You don't know if just it's deeper and more complex, but yet more simple than what everybody's making it out to be. Like if you, I talk to them all the time, and if you think some of the stuff that goes around, I just sit here because I speak to them, and I'm like, what? I'm like, either one, you'd have to have a PhD in certain things, or two. Maybe it's just because I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been an addict and lived like that, and then I've been clean and lived like that, and I know the mindset of, and let me tell you something. Just because you do drugs, that doesn't mean you don't love your kids. Because let me tell you something. Yes, getting well becomes your number one priority. You'll walk over your dead mother, and after you get well, then you'll feel regret. But that becomes your number, and that's true. It is, and trust me. Do you think people want to feel like that? Do you think people want to get up and can't function without? And yes, is a choice, and yes, but once it gets you, and it gets you good. It sinks its teeth into you really deep, and sometimes it's hard, especially if you don't have good support. Relapse is a part of recovery, especially when you have no support system, especially when you have nothing. What's to look up for when you feel like you're already at the bottom of the darkest hole, and you're working and you're trying your best to do this, and you have limited money, and you're working on your house, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're trying, and pennies don't stretch to dollars, don't stretch to and you might not think that they're, but they are. I know they are because I've seen it. And I talk to, and and I'm sure it gets real stressful and real. Let me see, real makes you real bummed out. I mean, I've been at the bottom of a hole and you think you just can't get up. My brother calls it my don't give two fucks attitude. Where you just don't care about anything. Anything. And it doesn't mean you just you can't care anymore. And it's not your fault. It's not, you just feel there's no way that you can do it. And that's what happens. You give up all hope. And when you do that, it might look like, oh, they're not right, you're not doing this, but you just you feel defeated. Do you know what it's like to feel defeated constantly? Not only do you feel defeated by people that you know, but then you got all these people you don't know telling you how much of a piece of shit you are and you're never getting your kids back. And, you know, that's that's fucked up. I don't care who you are. And who are you to fucking say that? You know? And you don't let my mom always told me, you ain't got something nice to say, keep it to your fucking self. You know? You can have your opinion. You can do that. But if somebody just go back and look at some of the shit that you just wrote, I'd probably slit my throat. You know? They don't care about their fucking. But why? Could you say so? Because what you see, or what that person said, or what that person said, or what that person said, you know? Or because the way they acted that day, or because they slipped up and got drunk, or because they feel defeated. You don't know. Stop pretending like you do. You know? I've felt defeated, and it's not good. You know? And Miss Candy, she can't win for losing. But guess what? She's still the sweetest person I've ever talked to. You know? And I talk to her faithfully. You know? People could, a lot of youths could only hope to get a friend like that. I had a friend for 20-something years that one day stabbed me in the back and basically spit in my face over something they did. I apologized for something they did just because 20 years is a long time. You know what I mean? I apologized for their mistakes just so they would talk to me. And then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't need a friend like that. Who needs fucking enemies when you got friends like that? You know? This girl watching my kids grow up was the godmother of my daughter. And then one day just stopped speaking to me over $5 over a job that I got her. My company. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't trust anybody. And people say, oh my God, you trust anybody. No, I never said anything. I've never said, this person's innocent, this person's good. I just said, you know what? Dig a little deeper. If you're so worried about this baby, do what you can. You know? And it helps, man. You're helping them. I mean, even if you don't like them, this is their baby. And you might think that they treated you wrong, but you don't know. You can listen to a phone conversation, or you can listen to this person, or somebody's effed up past, or, you know. But you're not the judge, the jury, or the hangman either, so. And maybe. Let's see. Just because somebody sins different than you, don't make you better than anybody else. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Some mistakes are bigger than others. But guess what? Sometimes you're a product of your environment and you don't know better. So, how about we act like human beings? You know, maybe just a little bit, and try to find this little baby, if not for their sake, for her sake. You know, and people say, "Oh, he's named past tense." I talked about my daughter's a kid in past tense, and she's right here. you know, so you just maybe you dig too deep in something that's too simple. It's so simple. Shh, guys, be quiet. My guinea pigs are going crazy. Or sometimes it's not as deep and complicated. Or maybe it is. I don't know, but I'm not. It's not my job. I mean, I help do what I can, and if something was, if I felt something was wrong, something is wrong. I know so firsthand, but I don't believe at anybody or anything unless I see it myself. Real facts. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you tell me this, and this is. I'm sorry. You can't dope fiend a dope fiend, and I was a dope fiend for a long time. So, there's nothing that they've pulled that I haven't tried to pull in my life. As addicts, we do cruddy stuff, and we don't think it's that cruddy, or we think we're smarter than everybody else. And then when we sit back, I'm like, God, what the fuck was I thinking? God, I was stupid. And thank God, I don't have to go through that anymore. And I was blessed with a great job that I make a whole lot of money. I have my own house. And my kids are spoiled, rotten, more shit than they deserve. By the grace of God, I graduated top of my class at 2 colleges. I'm not stupid. I'm just. My dad calls me the stupidest smart person he knows. I'm very, very intelligent, very book smart, but I have zero common sense sometimes. But I do have a heart, and I do have feelings, and I am human, and so are they. So, you know, maybe just if you don't like something or got something nasty to say, maybe just bite your tongue. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You're absolutely right. But just think your opinions are affecting a lot of things, and sometimes not for the better. You know? So, I'm sorry for getting all, mushy and sappy eyed. But, I don't know. I don't want, I don't think it's fair for us to treat people like that. I mean, not even that. Just because 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I have morals, and just because somebody else is nasty and does something wrong, it's not okay for me to call them this, and this, and this. 2 rights don't make a wrong. And I mean, like I said, facts are facts. Facts over feelings any day. And I know it's hard. This is a baby that's involved. A baby. This could be anybody's daughter, granddaughter. It's a baby. And I guess it pulls on the heartstrings a little stronger than whatever. But just remember, Miss Candy It's 2 babies. I don't care how old Rose is. It's still her baby. She's 35. She's the same age as my brother, 36. So 2 babies, and she's really feeling it. And it's really putting a damper on her. And it really affects, her. And like I said, she's never claimed to be perfect. By no means necessary. But I believe her, and I know that woman misses her grandkids and misses her daughter. Regardless of what, who, what, when, where, and why. Being a grandmom, I don't know if any of you are grandmoms, but that is the greatest thing in the world. I have 3 granddaughters and a grandson, and one more on the way, granddaughter on the way. And let me tell you something. It changed my life. I'm 41 years old. They're my step grandchildren. My husband's 50. Me and my husband are 10 years apart, and they're his stepkids. But they are my world. And I know grandmoms aren't supposed to have favorites. And I don't have favorites. I love them all the same. But me and my Ari, we're like partners in crime. She's 6. Same age as Summer. And she is the sassiest, smart mouth, respectful, but bossy. Little mini. She's so short. I don't think she's grown since she was like 3. She's tiny and sassy, and she's got hair that comes all the way down to past her butt. But she is my world, and I couldn't imagine not having her. So I just want to say thank you, guys. If sorry, now my nose is stuffed up from crying. Maybe make some flyers up or do something like that. Do something to try to help. That's number 1 priority. And like I said, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm nobody. I'm absolutely nobody. Just a normal person. But I'm a person that knows these people, and just maybe, like I said, you can believe what you want. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, I don't know, but humans are humans, and making up shit that we don't know the real answer to isn't helping anything. And slandering people and verbally assaulting them isn't helping either. I don't care if you don't like or not. Maybe just keep it to yourself, because it affects more than that. If somebody called my daughter's 19 years old. If somebody called my daughter something, it hurts. I remember she used to get bullied, and there was a girl made a Facebook page that said Miranda should kill herself. As a mom, that hurts. There's nothing I can do about it. So maybe just, I don't know, act like human beings. I need a tissue. I can't breathe. And, like I said, you don't have to be kind. You don't have to kiss somebody's ass or nothing like that. But just maybe, if you got something nice to say, maybe just don't say it. Keep it to yourself, or, and you don't have to have them. This is my money. If I want to spend my money on whoever, whatever, I can. And nobody's got to like it. But it's mine. I can do what I want. If I take $500,000 out and give it to them, it's my business. And I shouldn't be called. And back up for a second, because the reason why I started this is one day I put a 12-second clip on TikTok. 12-second clip out of a 4-minute video. And with no details, no nothing. I was called every name in the book. The kids in the video were called every name in the book. I mean, everything from white trash to piece of shit mom to 12-second clip. Me and 3 kids were judged by a 12-second clip with no info. If you get a chance, go look at it. That'll make you rethink a whole lot of shit. So, yeah. So just, before we start stoning people, at least give them the benefit of the doubt. But I hope you all have a good night. And I guess I will talk to you later. Thanks, guys.